the opposite of love is hate or envy or jealousy or all these other things that aren't pretty, but you
Mhm.
can't appreciate the opposite unless you experience um, it differently. So I think for me, the suffering and the pain that I've been through in my life, and everybody has that. I had a baby die when she was only a couple days old. They did
Mm.
horrible surgery on her. It was
Hello, my name's Naranjan, the host of Master of Your Crafts podcast, learning from leaders who are continuously inspired, passionate, and driven to align with their soul purpose, sharing their gifts to bring healing to others. The music is composed by Rebecca Everett.
Today is episode number 159, and I spoke with Kathy McDonald, the author of Misfits in Hell to Heaven Expats, where she shares transformational near death experiences journeying from trauma to profound spirituality. Her International Association of Near Death Studies, where she supports others with similar stories, offering humor, hope, and insight into life beyond death. Enjoy this joyful conversation, and thank you for watching and listening. Hello, and welcome to Kathy. How are you, Kathy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to learn about your experiences and all that you have learned and found from your NDE that you had way back when, but took time and courage to be able to write the book and share it and share the story with other people. So I think that's an interesting journey and conversation I'd love to get into in who you are today. But I have a really jumping off ball question is, what do you believe about yourself now? And does it define who Kathy is right now?
I feel very wrapped up in my purpose. And I think that's such a blessing to go through life and finally become clear around why you're here.
Mhm.
And it has to do, of course, with the experience I had, and it completely changed my life. And so I've been led to share it. And at first, after I wrote my book, I thought, how am I going to even get out and do that? But with COVID, up pop podcasts, and here we are. I've done about 160 of them in the last 4 years, and it's been an awesome way to get the message out that God is all loving, all forgiving, and would never condemn anybody. And
Right.
that's been a good lesson for people to hear.
Why do you think you had that experience?
Well, now I believe that I planned it. I was a Catholic for a very long time, and there was certain things about, there's no such thing as reincarnation and no such
Mm.
thing as this and that. And now, with the 25 years after my experience and being involved with the IANS people, the International Association of Near Death Studies, there's
Mhm.
thousands of us out there, and we get together
Yeah,
at conventions and whatever. And it's really quite accepted that
yeah.
of course there's lots of reincarnations. I mean, eternity is a long time.
Mhm.
There's plenty to do, and there's uh, different planets to be on, different lives to lead, and so I think I planned this one. I'm told that coming to Earth, you have to be a brave soul,
Yeah.
that it's really the toughest gig. And once you understand that, you don't take it personally. When things happen, it's just part of what you planned.
Mhm. What were some of the key elements or caveats that you learned from that experience?
The key elements, it was big again as a Catholic to understand that there is no judgment after death. There's a life review. You get to see your life and what it meant and your interaction with everybody that you've interacted with and the consequence of that. And also, they turn that life review around, and you get to actually experience the joy or pain that you caused other people. And that's a
Right.
karma thing. It's not God judging. So I
Yes.
think that's been the biggest thing that has really alleviated a lot of my fear of death. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. But it also challenged you in your own belief systems because, as you said, being born and raised as a Catholic, that's not even a thing. That's not even on the radar of something to look at, contemplate, and let alone embody and believe in. So that's a big shift.
Well, the shift has been interesting too, because after this 25 years, and there aren't a whole lot of people that come forward and confess to having a distressing near-death experience. The majority of them are just, full of bliss and joy and angels.
Mm.
So part of my mission purpose has been to find these people who are hiding under rocks like myself and bring them forward and help them understand that this didn't happen to them because they're a bad person.
Right.
It was something they chose, and we're changing how people look at religion. I mean, in my studies, I've determined that at least 85% of the people I have come across that have had a distressing near-death experience are Catholics.
Is that right?
Mhm.
That's and what do you know the ratio of them being, for the lack of better terms, a positive experience versus a negative experience?
Well, the negative experiences are roughly 8 to 12%, which,
Huh,
when you look at millions of experiences, that's a
it's a
lot of
lot.
people. But
It is.
in statistically speaking, it's small.
Mm-hmm.
And we generally don't want to talk about it because it's generally not well received, especially
Mm-hmm.
by your family when you tell them you've had, been in hell, and then they boom out with, "What the
Yeah.
heck were you up to? You seem like such a good girl." So it's embarrassing and shaming um, at first, but when you find out there's other people and they've interpreted it differently, it's really a load off your soul
Mhm.
to look at it from a different direction.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Why does one have a positive experience? Why was yours so tumultuous in that way?
I believe I chose it. I was one to really study later on in life, of course, um, like the ancient Greek myths. There's always been myths throughout humanity about the bravest person that goes down into Hades and brings back the treasure of,
Mhm.
the lost king's daughter, or the wisdom of the ages. And they're heroes, and they go through hellish things for the greater good. And I
Mhm.
believe that's what we have done when we go into these hellish experiences. um, it's to be able to tell people, skip the trip. The normal way to die is to go to God, just return home. Do not stop, do not,
Collect too much
you
of it.
get $200. I mean, it's just a straight shot. So the fact that we come back says something. It
Mhm.
says, to me, that was something I manifested. And I used horrible things that happened in my life, and I took them with me, and I made my own hell
Mm.
in segments. And again, that was confusing at the time. But over the years, talking to other people who say, "Wait a minute, I had segments too," and we can trace these things back, because there is no hell. We made our own. Um, the people that maybe don't like goodness and positivity can make it their own hell and stay there, because we have free will.
Mhm.
God is there, is all loving and all forgiving, and we are part of God. We're spirit, so we're all really just one thing. We're all
Yeah.
God. And somebody put it as, we are God experiencing himself, and it's not a
Mhm.
him, but you
Mhm.
know colloquially speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no right or wrong to what happens here. It's just about experience and understanding, and it's
Yeah.
a lot less complicated than religion makes it.
Yes. But it's a courageous journey to step out from that religion, especially from being in a space of this is the world that we live in. This is how you've been raised. This is your values. This is your belief system. This is the structure in which you've to grow in life and live your life. And then you have an experience, or you may not have, maybe people listen to this conversation and challenging their own belief systems as to what it is and what it isn't, but maybe have an open ear as to what else is out there, metaphorically speaking, because we know
Yeah,
it's all
it's
within, but
huge.
what else is
I mean,
available?
philosophers and people have been wondering and thinking and guessing about this all along, but basically the truth is God is love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So why do you believe that we are here then to have these experiences of Kathy being plucked down into a Catholic family and indoctrinated in those belief systems, and many people about the world? Why do you believe that is?
Um, I don't want to say heaven can get boring, but
It
I've been
probably
there
can.
and it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
terrific. I did not want to come back. Most of us don't.
Yeah.
It's usually because, well, I was told I had too much left to do, and I was
Mm-hmm.
furious. I did not want to come back and be here, but I figured after a while I better get my work done so I can go
Mm-hmm.
home. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it, man. I want to go
Right.
back there.
Yeah.
But I again, I figured out that I planned it and I've learned all these things. We learn to love, and it's like this dichotomy of dark and light and rich and poor. You don't understand or value something until you don't have it,
Yeah.
or until you experience the opposite of it, and then you can really say, wow, love is a wonderful thing, because the opposite of love is hate or envy or jealousy or all these other things that aren't pretty, but you can't appreciate the opposite unless you experience um, it differently. So I think for me, the suffering and the pain that I've been through in my life, and everybody has that. I had a baby die when she was only a couple days old. They did
Mm-hmm.
horrible surgery on her. It was a terrible time. It was the first time I just shook my fist at God and I said, why do you keep doing this stuff to me? I'm a good person. So
Mm-hmm.
I learned, later I chose that. My daughter chose, it was a soul that says,
Yeah.
I'll be down there for 9 months and two
Right.
days and I'm out of there,
Right. Right.
but I'll help you out. I'll help you on your way to learning about empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And empathy is the great gift that comes from suffering.
Mm-hmm.
When you know how another person feels, they feel safe about coming to you for comfort, to explain what happened to them. Because otherwise, like with the babies, later on, within a couple of years, two of my best friends also had their babies die of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, people would say, oh, that's okay, you'll have another one. That's like the worst thing you can say to a mother that's just lost this to your child she's
Yeah.
been carrying for 9 months.
Yeah.
So they could come to me and say, am I ever going to be the same again? And I'll say, no, but
Right.
you'll learn to live with it. Is this pain ever going to go away? No, but you'll learn to live with it. And they could see, okay, I had acclimated back to the world. I had another child. So they had faith that they'd make it too. And
Yeah.
that happens on any level. When you've experienced something terrible, people flock together for sympathy and empathy, but empathy is more important than sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Absolutely.
real.
Absolutely. And coupled with that comes a place of compassion, right? For what they've
Yeah.
witnessed and what they've gone through
Yeah, it's
for.
learning to love. learning to love is not just romantic love. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of love, and they all involve forgiveness. I was told when I got back, I was scared to death to go into that situation. I still didn't understand what had happened, and I asked God, give me something positive to do in my life, because these thou shalt nots didn't cut it. So over a
Mhm.
period of time, I heard to be loving, kind, merciful, forgiving, encouraging, grateful, non-judgmental, and useful. And
Mm.
useful is the purpose. That's the last one I finally went aha with.
Right.
But the rest of them I try and share with people. If we can just be loving and kind
Yeah.
in as much as of our interactions with others and to ourselves, it makes such a difference. I've found that I'm working at a senior center now. I'm definitely a senior, but when we've been through 60, 70, 80 years of life on this planet, we can get a little crusty, you know? And so I found that with particularly people that are a little prickly, if I'm just loving and kind, keep that up, loving and kind, no matter what they're talking about or coming up with, eventually it kind of erodes them too into
Right.
feeling safe and becoming a little more loving and kind to the next people that come in. It's
Yeah.
amazing how contagious that is. And in a
Mhm.
world we've got right now, that can't hurt.
Exactly. I think at any point it can hurt, but it takes those courageous few, or many, hopefully, to step into that space and welcome it as part of their 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 being
Yeah, because
to
we're
share
here
with
to learn
others.
how to love. And we help each other with that. I feel very blessed now. I at first I was very angry about the whole thing, but again, realizing I wanted to learn all this stuff, I consider myself brave. I no longer feel like a victim. I think that's another perk of knowing that you've planned this for your benefit and for others, is you stop blaming God.
Yeah.
God just
Yeah.
allows it.
Yeah. How has that changed who Kathy is? Knowing that I'm fully stepping into that space of knowing that you planned everything and you've put everything in its place. And it is empathy that we're all seeking and that we can share and really have this unconditional love for one another and for self. How has that changed you versus the Kathy that was before? Granted, you were still very, very young before you had the ND.
Was 53. I wasn't that young.
Okay,
I've
for
been
some reason I
I've
thought
been
of
through a
16,
lot.
but okay.
But yes, I'm kinder to myself. I'm kinder to other people. I understand it was not God picking on me. I can stop and say, ooh, this is a difficult time. What's the lesson here? There's got to be a lesson. What is it? I can be gentler on myself and certainly on other people.
Mhm,
Um, it's changed me probably in every way I can think of.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Are there some attributes or are there some traits or skills that you've embodied in yourself to keep you in line with this purpose of sharing this message with others? And what would they be?
Um, Kindness toward myself, patience toward myself,
Mhm,
forgiveness toward myself.
mhm,
All the things that I will be putting out to others, I had to first apply to myself uh, to give me permission to change, to encourage me to change when I didn't feel like it.
mhm.
um, it's easy to go back to the old self. So it takes a certain amount of stamina plus forgiveness to say this is your new life. And it's a great way to live and just to see again the change in the people around me.
Yeah.
One of the lady that runs the senior center came up to me not too long ago and says, there's just a different energy here since you got
Mm.
here. it's just, I can't believe it that people are being nicer to each other. It's whatever you're doing, don't stop. So you
Nice.
get that feedback, and it just gives you the strength to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that was going to be my other question. How much of your world has changed from the people that you connect with to people who maybe didn't welcome or not forthcoming in conversation or relationship with you since you've changed your perspective on life?
Oh, a lot. There's been
Mm-hmm.
people that I just don't want to be around. We all have that. They just rub us the wrong way. But I found that I've got more peace around that now. I can see, oh wow, this is the reason she's so obnoxious.
Mm.
She chose this to be a challenge to others and to herself. And so I'm gonna take that challenge, and I'll be a little more quiet around her, let her say what she's going to say, and try and keep myself calm.
Right.
Um, and again, you just start to feel the energy around that relationship ease up a little bit. It's subtle sometimes,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
it just happens. Magic. It's like magic.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. When we become more aware of things and we're observant and be able to see and feel the difference in it, then it can be pretty magical in how it all transpires for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Other than sharing the element of empathy and compassion that you're exuding out to others, and hopefully other people have will encourage that in their own lives. What are your intentions? Are there any additional intentions that you would like to share, having written the book and having been on this journey and truly embodying this purpose and path that you have chosen?
I would say be patient with yourself. There's It's a hectic world. We need to take time to meditate, to pray, to get out in nature, um, to find time to get away from all this busyness, being on the phone the whole day long, not talking to people, to, yeah, I think slow down and
Mhm.
kind of unplug more walks, and like I say, in nature is you just feel closer to God. You just feel like the real you is in there somewhere, and it's kind of like recharging your batteries. This is a very difficult time. We've decided to come here,
Yeah.
um, and we have to take care of ourselves first, I think, and I think meditation helps a lot for me.
Right. An element of stillness just to be calm and to recenter and refocus, right? So whatever that meditation looks like, because I know there's many people who say they can't meditate and it's not their thing and they can't quiet the mind and all of those pieces, but a perspective is meditation, making a meal, doing your laundry, cleaning your home, whatever, just an ordinary daily life task that needs to happen. It can be meditative, right?
Time.
Absolutely. What's next for Kathy?
Well, people ask me if I'm going to write another book.
Mhm.
When you write a memoir, that's just kind of like your life. I don't think I'll write another book. I'm really enjoying the podcast and getting the feedback from people, the views. I've been on a couple really big ones, and they each have over 1 million views,
Mm,
which is crazy.
right.
For someone like myself that doesn't like attention, uh, to feel like it's happening out there. And I have people write to me, and I don't know. I still feel like I have a lot of purpose. It's just not. It's not ended that I wrote the book. It's not ended that I had the
Right.
experience. It's going to be my life
Hmm.
until I get everything done. Like they told me, you had too much left to do. I just get this vision of finally getting that last person that I've been able to help, and boom, I'm out of here.
Is
So
that right? Yeah.
I don't want to slow down. I want to keep
Yeah.
going. I want to, as long as I can, because I'm 78 years old. I'm not
Wow.
going to live forever, thank God. But I
Wow.
got a mom that's 97. So,
Yeah.
that's what we all do. We've all, if you find your purpose, then that just gives you such joy to fulfill it,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah. Do you think there's more to your purpose? Granted, sharing the story and writing the book and your experiences and sharing and shifting your own vibrational frequency in life of how you move through the world is pretty big in itself. But are there other components to that that you are wondering when that message or insight or awareness is going to come from yourself, I
I
guess.
keep I keep an open mind about that. In IONS, there's all kinds of things going on, and all over the world with this. Just for an example, with ETs, that
Hmm.
I love the thought that we can reincarnate on different planets as different
Hmm.
beings, and that it hit me the other day. It's like, well, they're not aliens, they're us. I may have been one in a previous life, so I'm
Yeah.
still trying to wrap my mind around that one.
Yeah.
Um, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool when you think about it, and things that I've been reading that the government's going to drop all the secrecy behind all of the sightings and all, and we'll be learning more about our neighbors on
Hmm.
other planets. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, my
Right.
dad was in the Navy, and he was a pilot, and he was flying one time over the Midwest, and a flying saucer came right up next to his plane. I mean, he was
Mm.
looking at it, and it was there, and
Yeah.
when it just zoomed off, and he got back to the base, and he went in to talk to his superior, who said, well, we've had several sightings up there, but the last one that had phoned it in, the plane mysteriously crashed, so we
Mm.
don't want you talking about this. And my
Right.
dad's going, but he says, no, if you value your time in the Navy here,
Yeah.
and you want to keep it, you will zip it. So that he
Wow.
didn't tell me, he told me about it. Gosh, he was in his 90s. He finally
Mm.
felt like because he says, they're there. He said,
Yes.
I know people who have seen them. So
Yes.
that's another, this life is full of surprises. And so I'm curious to see what's going to happen around that, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a bigger topic in terms of, are they truly aliens or are we the aliens? And is there a true definition of humanity and humans? No, because we're a version of hybrid ourselves, right? There's this
Right.
constant evolution of this thing called man, and this planet, Mother Earth, is a testing ground for it. So hey, we're
If we're
part of
all
that
spirit, if
experiment.
we're all the same spirit, that's really an amazing thought.
Hmm. We just get to experience it differently, just as we did on other planets and other forms that we get
Right.
to
Good.
see
I'm
and we
glad you
didn't.
agree. Some
Yeah,
people still look
absolutely.
at you kind of weird when you talk about it, but I think the younger people are more open to that.
Yeah. Who do you feel is your market, so to speak, in hammering this message of love, empathy, and oneness and unity and all of this experience just to soak up the goodness of life that we have because we're here on this planet at this time? Is it a certain demographic? Is it a certain cultural nuance of even around the globe? Who do you feel are the ones that you need to reach the most for this message?
It's the ones I think that are heavily influenced by a religion that
Mhm.
teaches that God's going to send you to hell if you do this, that, or the other thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's just such a way to control people, and
Right.
it's not true.
Yeah.
And there's so much unhappiness around that. People that are afraid of God, people who are afraid when their loved ones die, and
Mhm.
they're afraid they're in hell and they'll never see them again. There's so much fear. So my caveat to people is, if you're afraid of God, that's a wake-up call to take a look at what you believe and who's telling you what, because there's millions of us NDEers here, and not one that I've heard of, not one has come back and said God judges anybody. Not one. It's all love. It's all love and forgiveness. And this is all just an experience that we choose to have. And God gave us free will to do that.
Yeah.
But God loves us unconditionally because we are part of God, being spirit. So that's the demographic I like to reach. And not everybody can accept that. And I get a lot of flack and feedback, but the ones that pick it up, I figure, good. Those are people I need to talk to.
That's right. That's right. So in turn with that, then we get to a place which we touched on earlier of we're the ones who designed this life. So if we're the ones who designed this life, we designed our own riches and poors at the same time. So therefore, we're it.
Buck stops here.
Right? So if we're it, then does that give individuals a permission slip, if you will, for the wrongs that they are doing in the world, and not in a place of knowing that there is no judgment at the end of it from your perspective? There is nothing. So they can continue doing that? Like, where do you land with that?
You can just do anything you want, but just remember, in your life review, you're going to have the opportunity to feel every bit of pain and suffering you've inflicted upon others. So I like to use Hitler as an example, that in his life review, he got to experience every bit of the pain and sorrow and horror and disruption that he caused millions and millions of people and their families. And, you know, he's probably still halfway through his life review. What else can you do to the guy?
Absolutely.
If he's going to feel all that pain, you couldn't do that. You can't do that by putting him in an electric chair. No. So, you know, there's the freedom is to choose to do those evil, bad things and receive the consequence, which is to feel exactly what you put out. And if you put out love and kindness and forgiveness, you'll get to feel that too. So God's not doing that. That's just the consequence, karma, of your actions.
Yeah. And perhaps even a universal law.
What goes out comes back.
Exactly. Universal law of.
So you have a choice. You've got free will. You can be kind, loving, and forgiving and all those things, and then feel that in the afterlife, or not.
It's an opportunity for us ultimately to become self-reflected and be more aware of our own actions, of how we move through the world and influence and change others by being in that presence, but also having this beautiful and unique conversation within ourselves of settling into our own love and our own empathy for ourselves, because codependency doesn't work very well in relationships by wanting to have it from other people. So we have to have it within ourselves, is what I'm hearing, right? Absolutely. Is there anything else you would like to share as we close out this delightful conversation for that you're feeling called to share for other people to truly look at and embody a little bit deeper?
Right. And if nothing else, get up in the morning and say, today, I'm going to be loving and kind, no matter what, day at a time.
Yeah. Why do you think that's so much more relevant at this point of time? Granted, there's craziness happening in the world, but there's always been craziness happening in the world.
Oh, right.
That's the world. It's designed that way.
We chose to come to this. I'm told that Earth, you know, is just the densest, darkest place, and just the brave souls show up. So I continue to say, Kathy, you're a brave soul for being here, and you're going to make it. You know, you know what you need to do, and it's not forever to be down here. And we just all get to go home.
Yeah.
A good laugh.
And I was just going to say that I have some good laughs along the way, and enjoy it and relish those moments, because this is what we bargained for. This is what we
Right.
signed up for,
And
right?
you don't
So
have
why
to
not?
come back here. I'm going to go someplace a little lighter next
Are you-
time. That's sure.
Yeah, well, you put in your dues by the sounds of it. So yeah, I think you're honored for that. So yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Done.
Kathy, thank you so much for sharing your story, your wisdom, your experiences, and your time that you shared with me today. I appreciate you sharing. Thank you.
Thanks, Naranjan. I had a good time. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm Naranjan, and you've been listening to Master of Your Crafts podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and review, and join me next week for another episode. Thank you for listening.